Yes, guys, welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. This is FPL Insight. I'm Gianni, the FPL guy, and I'm joined by Football Insider, Mr. Dean Jones. Dean, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I feel like a bit of a weight's been lifted off my back now that the transfer window is closed. It's a very nice feeling as a transfer insider to see that window shut. I mean, I'm not sure there are many jobs out there that have such a weird restriction on when their job's actually relevant. But obviously, the summer months are far more busy in my job than most of the rest of the year, and it's fine. I do love it. I don't love the last week of the window. Deadline day takes its toll, but yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun, and we look at this FPL focus now. This is proper loyalty. I'm loving this.
Yes, happy birthday, Graham. That is good to hear. I hope your arrow is going to be green this week. Graham, let us know what birthday transfer you're making. Sometimes on my birthday, I treat myself to a 4-point hit. So I don't know what your plans are, Graham. But there we go. Loads of you in the chat. Hello, guys. Do give us a like. Good to see so many familiar faces. Nuclear Atoms is with us, and Gareth, and Tiffany's there. Vindy's there. CH as well. Paul, FPL Blackstar, Laura. Good to see so many of you. We have got a fun-packed hour. We're, of course, going to be talking transfers and rounding up the window in the next couple of minutes. We're going to be looking at our teams. And we've had both a decent game week. And then, of course, we've got against the obvious. We've got some cool picks for you, who not to pick this game week. Popular assets. And then, of course, we'll be answering your questions throughout the show and at the end, or in the next hour. Dean, we'll get your thoughts on one or two big names in terms of whether or not we think they'll start, and Haaland and Perisic as well later in the shows. Perhaps we'll come to that when we show our teams.
Cool.
But for now, I think we should get straight into it and have a look at some of that transfer news from the week just gone, because it was a very busy Thursday night, wasn't it? So let's have a look at Transfernomics. Here we go. Big stories, Dean. What were the biggest stories on Thursday for you?
I think the fact that Chelsea managed to get Aubameyang, I think that's a big deal. That's an absolute must that Chelsea ended up with another centre forward through the door. So I think that's a massive piece of business in Tuchel's eyes. R2 is a big name. Liverpool's a big club. I don't think that's a big signing personally. Not that impressed, but it could be a bit like when Saul went to Chelsea, that one. Not convinced that's going to make too much difference. I can see why they did it, though. He's got quality, I guess pedigree, at a time when they don't have many bodies. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Anthony being absolutely announced, I mean, that is a big deal. It's a big boost for United ahead of the weekend. Obviously, a massive fixture for them. Nottingham Forest managed to make it to 21 signings. 21 signings.
That's crazy.
It genuinely is crazy. I cannot believe they've signed 21 players. That is absolutely ridiculous. And look, I feel a bit sorry for any Leicester fans. I'm not sure if we got any Leicester fans on this stream that have made themselves publicly known anyway. But they made a signing. But let's be honest, there's a team that you're worried about right now on the back of this transfer window. Got to be Leicester. Probably closely followed by Bournemouth, but Leicester. I mean, the drop-off here from where they were a season ago to where they are right now, massive. So, yeah, some big storylines. I mean, I guess the window as a whole was a really good one. Deadline day, you didn't get that much excitement compared to what had happened before. But when Erling Haaland's joining that early on, and GW6 joined so early on, you tend to forget that those even happened. I mean, those were probably the two biggest deals, weren't they, of the transfer window?
Yeah, GW6 was huge for FPL as well. I think he started the season at something like 70% ownership. I think we've never seen that. We had never gone into a season or had a player that highly owned. Yet now Haaland's at 75%. So we've got currently GW6 is on 79.9 and Haaland on 75. Both these guys pretty much owned by everyone that's currently playing the game. It does make it difficult to differentiate too much because they're two must-have players. And some in the chat have said, look, Aubameyang at 9 million, it does seem a little bit more expensive when you compare it to Jesus, but in its own right, I think it's a good price. And Nuclear Atom says, priced at 9 million, sees the Jesus effect when he returns. And I always feel confident when a manager has worked with a player, brings him in, and when they've got a good FPL price tag along with that, I go, oh, this is a good combination. We look at Arteta with Zinchenko, Jesus, both done well. We look at United, look at Martinez. He's come in and played really, really well. I've no doubt Anthony will be useful too. Mm-hmm. Did he work with Ericsson? I don't know if Ten Hag joined Ajax before Ericsson left, but the Ajax link there. But yeah, I mean, I think the same with Abba, and working with Tuchel before, he's gonna work. And Chelsea need a 9, and Abba will be that 9 for us. So I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without Aubameyang coming through the door, they were in big trouble, weren't they? Sterling's trying his best. Havertz is totally off colour at the moment. Brozier hasn't had a look in yet. I'm not sure what kind of form he's going to be in if we eventually see him. But yeah, Aubameyang brings that guarantee, I guess, of goals that Chelsea would need. He got the 9 shirt though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did get the 9 shirt. And in one of his photos,
I'm surprised he even wanted it.
Yeah, true. I mean, the number 9's at Chelsea. In his reveal photos, he's doing that. And apparently he's got a tattoo on one of his arms, which is him celebrating a goal in an Arsenal shirt. So it's not like an Arsenal crest, but it's the shirt. So he was covering it up in the photos, which I thought was funny.
I'm pretty sure they play on fireworks night, Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm pretty sure that's the first time he played against Arsenal. So that could be worth looking out for.
I absolutely love that. Good question from CFC Blues. I did mention in the chat I'd try and answer this. So yeah, look, Zakaria isn't going to be a starter for me. He signed with a good reputation. A lot of clubs were after him when he moved to Juve. He hasn't quite settled in Italy, but look, a lot of central midfielders, a lot of centre mids at Juve have been in and out. And it's a really tricky team to break into, knowing they've always had good numbers there, and the likes of Rabiot and Locatelli's come in and done very well. But Zakaria came in and he's sort of already loaned out. But I don't think Juve want to sell him. They know how good he is or can be. But it'll be great cover, and Chelsea need it because Kante, Kovacic. Okay, I'm not going to say Jorginho because his injury record's pretty good, but Kante and Kovacic, they miss half the season every season with injuries, so we need that cover. But good point on Isaac. A lot of love there. What's your take, Dean? Because he looked very good. He had a goal disallowed, which was very close, and he scored a very good goal. He went off with a knock, but he's fine apparently. So that's good to know because he looks like he could be good value at 7 million for FPL. Newcastle, good fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, Callum Wilson will be cursing the luck of the timing of this injury. Really, really bad luck for him that Isak's going to get an actual chance at having a run in the team. And I mean, the way he finishes is just incredible. Like, I think he's a great player. He's going to be such a good addition to the Premier League. So yeah, I think Newcastle were looking good. I mean, they'll definitely be knocking on the door for those European places for me. I think that they've really built. Like you say with Zakaria, he's not going to be a game changer yet. If he can stay fit, if he can find top form, then he'll be he could be a really good player. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's a bit of a no-brainer for Chelsea to get him on the type of deal that they've got him on. He is a good player though, and there is potential there.
Yeah, Luis Fernando asking about wildcard tips. If you're on a wildcard this week, guys, and look, this works for everyone watching and everyone listening right now. I'm going to name some players that I like, whether or not you're on a wildcard or not, players you might want to consider transferring in. So if I was wildcarding right now or looking at transfers, Nico Williams I'd have. He's got good fixtures, 4.0 defender, a must-have. Mitrovic I'd definitely buy despite having Chelsea and Spurs up next. He's fixture-proof. He scored against Liverpool and Arsenal. And after Chelsea-Spurs, his fixtures are awesome. Definitely buy Mitro on a wildcard. I'd make sure I've got 3 City because they're banging them in at the moment. Haaland, Cancelo. I wouldn't be scared to go for a little punt on someone like a Bernardo or even a Gundogan. Or if you fancy it, you could go Alvarez, but just know he'll play 1 in 3. But when he plays, he'll do well. So I like those guys a lot. Reece James, I'd definitely have on a wild card. I don't own him myself. Andreas on a wild card. I'd still have Gabriel Jesus for sure. I'd still have Trent and Cancelo. So yeah, that's where I'd be looking, guys, on a wild card. And in terms of the keepers, I don't think I'll be going for 4.5. I think I'd probably go to 5. I like Pope a lot. And I think I'd cover Newcastle with their fixtures. Trippier, Isaac, Pope, all good options too. You've got trips, haven't you, Dean?
I have, yeah. I've still got Trippier. I've resisted the urge to swap him out. And Cancelo's kind of saved a bit of face for me with that goal the other day. So he's staying for now. I'm not rushing to get rid of him and bring in Trent. So Yeah, we'll go through our teams obviously in a bit, but I don't think I made a transfer. I think my wild card from 2 weeks ago has actually served me pretty well. So, like anyone considering it at the moment, just to make sure it's really one of those you just don't want to get left behind, and that's what would have happened to me in the last 2 weeks if I hadn't have brought in a couple of players that everybody else had. So I am pleased that I did it.
Yeah, good to see so many of you watching. Looks like we've had a wave of you come in on the audience. So, guys, thank you for joining. If you are new round here, we do these every Monday and every Friday, 7 p.m. FPL chat. We do an hour. We talk FPL, of course, the whole way through, but we also use Dean's insight as a journalist and a football and transfer insider to help us with things like team selection and to talk transfers, starting 11s, stuff like that. So, guys, do like this show. If you're enjoying it, do hit that subscribe button if you want to subscribe and set those alerts. And it's good to see so many in the chat giving us love, like FPL Focus, whose birthday is today. We really do see our network of people enjoying the ride here as the Chasing Green Arrows family. So welcome all, welcome indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I was going to say, mate, any disappointments for you as a Chelsea fan? I mean, how do you feel that Chelsea are now prepared to hit the season properly on the back of that transfer window?
Yeah, I mean, it was a ridiculously good window. I am delighted we didn't sign Gordon. That's not a knock on Gordon because I'm sure he's brilliant, but we just didn't need him. And I was worried signing Gordon would hinder the likes of Hudson-Odoi. Let's say he has a really good loan spell at Bayer Leverkusen. There'll be no route back if the likes of Gordon are on the fringes because Gordon wasn't going to come and start anyway. We could have spent 60 million on a player and he would have been first or second sub, best case scenario for me, unless he came on and absolutely banged within the first few months. But yeah, I'm pleased there. I'm delighted to see Fofana signing because I think for FPL, nice. Thanks, United, Gaio. I literally have had a quick change of outfit from my appearance on the Premier League channel with Jules at 6:45, and I was on for 3 minutes talking FPL. So it was just a little 3-minute section. Sam Lee was on from the Man City correspondent for the Athletic, and I did ask if he thinks Haaland will start, but didn't get an answer because I had to run.
Damn, he would have known if anyone knew it was him.
I had to change a couple of the shirts in the background because I was like, I can't go on the Premier League channel and just have Serie A shirts. So I put a United and a Chelsea shirt up there.
Why have you got a United shirt?
Oh, it was bought to me for my stag do.
Okay.
I had to wear a Wayne Rooney full kit throughout. Yeah.
I did just see a question. I think it was Oscar. I think it was that asked about Sterling. Sterling, and I think that anyone who got Sterling in and stuck with it, fair play to you, because I thought Sterling had a good start to the season. Yep. He's got goals in his last 2 games, obviously. He's really important, I think, to the way this Chelsea team functioned. And I was checking out his record against West Ham. He loves playing West Ham more than any other team. He has got 8 goals and 6 assists against West Ham in his career, more than he's got against anyone else. So, look, Chelsea obviously did not play well the other day at all. But now they've got new faces in, Aubameyang to come. Sterling wants to be the leader of this team. So if you're tempted to take the jump onto Sterling, there's not many people doing it right now. And I think you could actually do it that with some confidence.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's getting so many big chances too. Him and Mount are linking well. Good for England as well. And the fixtures for Chelsea are decent. And with Reece James playing wing-back now, because Fofana's been signed, again, he'll be feeding Sterling way more too. Like, Chelsea have needed his creativity. So, yeah, I think that's a good shout, Dean. Like, he's expensive and hard to reach because he's around the 10 million mark. Yeah. If you've got the funds, I like the idea of covering him. I think the new template in FPL will be, there's a lot with 2 premium attackers. Dean's got 3 and his team looks great with it. But I think the balance will become those that do wildcard in the next few weeks. I think we'll end up going like 2.5 premiums. So that's your Haaland and your Salah, and then perhaps a Sterling or a Darwin, someone around that 9-10 bracket, as well as your 2 really expensive players. I think that'll be really interesting. And I look forward to seeing everyone's wildcard drafts. I know a lot of people are looking at game week 8, 9. I'm not too sure when I'm going to go, and I just think you go when the time is right for your team, as it was for you a week ago.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, I think, as we said before, it feels like a bit of a free hit, the fact we've got an extra one. So just try not to get left behind, basically, at the moment. Salah's the one, though. Salah's causing a few headaches at the moment, isn't he? We'll see my team in a bit. At the moment, he's got the armband, but I'm just hoping he comes. I'm just counting on him coming good and scared that the second I take it away, he bags a hat trick or whatever, that's the fear with me at Salah at the moment. But I know, like, this is the thing, like history versus form. I'm like really stuck in the middle here.
I like your loyalties towards captaincy with Salah, and it served you well, to be fair, in months gone by. But yeah,
I think I was also really burned by him once when I jumped off him. I decided that he had his day and was finished, and I think he went on the hottest streak he's ever had in the Premier League after that point. So I'm very, very cautious.
Sod's law. United asking about the United Gaiowo. Asking about the wildcard. 6 new players is definitely worth it. Like, obviously, you wouldn't be making those 6 transfers, so it wouldn't be a 20-point hit. But that's still a big upgrade. You don't have to make wholesale changes for your wildcard, especially knowing many of us have got teams we're fairly happy with because so many of the popular assets have been delivering, which means by default, we've all got teams that look all right. So 6 different moves is still decent for a wildcard. And as Dean said, we've got a free one this year, got an extra one.
Yeah, exactly that.
CH is benching Perisic. Let's talk about Perisic now then. He's got Fulham. There's a very good chance he doesn't start. And if he doesn't, there's a very good chance he comes on. He came on against Chelsea and got 4 points. He got an assist. What do you think, Dean? Do you think we'll see him start? And if we don't, do you think he'll get the cameo or will he be fully rested knowing Champions League is around the corner?
I think he'll still get on even if he doesn't start. I know that Sessegnon's obviously chomping at the bit to start this game. I know that there was someone I know was watching some of the Patna play and Sessegnon was the guy involved, but he said he wasn't 100% convinced that was the lineup because there were 2 other people in that team, which did look the strongest side of the Tottenham in-house game that was going on. And it looked like Sessegnon was playing, but it's like, I just saw it. But obviously, Sessegnon wants an opportunity here. I personally still stick with Perisic. No chance I'm getting off him at the moment because I think it's a big call to leave him out for a game like this, especially like people will look at me like, oh, it's Fulham. But this isn't just Fulham. Like Fulham have probably they have played better football than Tottenham this season. Fulham are scared of no one. Fulham have gone to Arsenal and given them a really good game. They've given everyone a good game. They come close to beating Liverpool. So I don't think Tottenham could take them lightly, and I think that's why Perisic will at least figure in this game. That's why I'm sticking with him.
Yeah. So just confirm, Dean, you think that based on what you've heard in a training game that Sessegnon looks like he's more likely to start?
It looked, yeah. So someone just said to me it looked like he was starting. I did see, because obviously the other guru for Tottenham news is Paul O'Keefe on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I did check his Twitter before we came on just in case he had tweeted.
Has he done his prediction?
He hasn't done his prediction yet, but someone said to him, obviously an FPL player, was like, when are you predicting the team for Fulham? And he said tonight. So if you don't follow Paul O'Keefe, go and check out his Twitter because his Predict Conte is something pretty special. I don't think he's got anything wrong so far this season. So yeah, jump on that and have a look if you do want to know on Perisic Sessegnon because whatever he says is probably right.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, well, seeing as we're on the Perisic chat, I think we should throw to our teams because I've got a bit of a Perisic dilemma this week, and depending on what Paul says, I might even be moving him on, which seems crazy, but
yeah, no, fair. No, if he says it, then totally.
Yeah. So okay, let's check out our team reveals. Here we go, Dean, you're up.
Yep, so here we go. The Walton Rifles at their best. We had a good week last week.
How many points did you get?
I got 84. Got 84.
Oh, that is tasty. Yeah.
Yes, it turned out pretty good. I didn't have Haaland captain. So was pleased that Salah somehow got 2 assists. One of the most convincing things, especially the second. But there we go. This is how I'm lined up at the moment. Captaincy, I think I'm sticking with Salah. Everton aren't very good. Everton haven't won a game so far this season. Liverpool haven't been that good either, but they did win 9-0. And then I think they've got the momentum of the last half an hour of that match of a day where they've managed to get over the line with a late winner. And I just wonder if that momentum from that is going to give Liverpool a bit of a lift. I'm kind of hoping it does. Literally everyone in my mini league has Haaland captain at this point. I'm the only one that doesn't. So it's a risk, but as a differential, Salah as captain doesn't feel that wrong to me, to be honest. Like, this is not a guy that's going to go on a goal drought for the entire season. Have Liverpool had a penalty yet this season?
No, don't think so.
Don't think so. The weirdest thing about Liverpool is they're just not scoring in the first half. 4 of their 5 games so far this season, Liverpool have not scored a first half goal. They're all coming after the break, and they're having to change their tactics. They're just not getting into the same positions, particularly Salah. So that is there. Someone United, Gaio, asking if Captain Kane has crossed my mind. He's playing against Fulham. There is absolutely no chance of captaining anyone against Fulham.
I think Kane is the standout captain in this week for those that own him. But I think I wouldn't want to do it against my team, especially my newly promoted team that I want to really make the most of being in the Premier League.
I just can't do it. Like, that's one of my FPL rules. Like, if there's a possibility of me being glad that someone has scored against my team, I just can't have it. Like, I just can't have that conflict going in within me. Not starting Aronson against Brentford is the question from Aninda.
Who would you bench, though, with that team?
Well,
I mean, Perisic might not play, might not come on, and then you'd get Aronson. Or would you see, if Paul O'Keefe said Perisic was benched and you thought he was only going to get 20 minutes, would you give Aronson then?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, Aronson was in the lineup, and then when I was tinkering this last night before sending it in for this show, I was like, no, Nico Williams needs to be in, and Trippier needs to be in too.
Agree.
Martinelli,
Jesus, you don't drop against United.
I mean, to be honest, Saliba, I think Man United will score. Maybe I take Saliba out, to be honest, if anyone of that back 4, because I think United will get something out of that game. They'll at least score in that match. But
you've got 2 free transfers, Dean.
Yeah, because I've wildcarded, haven't I?
Oh, okay. So you've got to make one.
Or
you burn it
and let it run. Yeah. So I've got 2 up for grabs. Yeah. So I can do something tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Adam's saying maybe De Silva to Harvey Elliott. I don't know. Let's see what Harvey.
Does that work?
Because De Silva's 4.6, isn't he? And Harvey Elliott, I think, is 5.0. Harvey Elliott is playing very well, to be fair.
He is, absolutely. Like, I think Harvey Elliott is Liverpool's player of the season so far. They've only played 5 games, but Harvey Elliott is. Let me click on him.
I've not considered Elliott in FPL because I know a lot of teams have already got you 3 Liverpool assets, but Dean and I, neither of us do. Yeah, 5.0.
Yeah, I can get to Elliott. That is a good shout. Yeah, that isn't a bad idea at all. I saw someone from the FPL world, might have been Lee from FPL Family, was wondering if Liverpool alter their tactics this weekend and play Diaz, Salah and Firmino behind Darwin. And he was like throwing it out there. He's like, because they got so many midfield problems at the moment. I can't see that. But
they've never done it.
They've never done it. And to do it in a Merseyside derby, it would look like he was panicking to me. I can't see that Klopp would do that, especially when Everton, let's be honest, aren't actually that good. And I think Everton will probably have a good wave in the first half. I think if you can ride it, keep Gordon quiet, then you probably get through it and you'll probably finish him off in the second half.
Yeah. I think there was a period last season when, maybe it was the season before, or early last year, where Bobby, Jota, Salah and Mane were all banging the goals in. Whenever Jota or Bobby started, they were scoring, and they had midfield injuries. And there was a lot of talk that, could all 4 start, which means you just play with the 2 midfielders. And he never did it. And I remember thinking, that was when he would have done it, and he still didn't need to. And his hand was more forced then than it would be now in terms of injuries. So
that's a good point. Someone's just said, I've lost it now. Rune says KDB over Salah for me at the moment. And I mean, would be bold, but I could.
I mean, if you go KDB, it's worth captaining him, I think, because we know he'll probably play 90. Yet Haaland, he'll either get 60 or 30.
Yeah, of course.
Let's talk Haaland, Dean. Do you think he'll start? I mean, a lot of the locals, journos have been saying they think he will. He's in a lot of the predicted 11s.
There's no need to leave him out. There's no need. And this is Erling Haaland, and he's going to want to play. He's going to want to start. The guy's just scored back-to-back hat tricks. He's scoring a goal every 44 minutes. He's scoring like some of the fastest hat tricks I've even seen in the Premier League. the way that he's arriving in these dangerous areas. You say, oh, he's scoring all his goals in the 6-yard box and stuff. That's his job. This is a different type of striker. This is why Man City have got him. They're doing something different. I just think Aston Villa, he could eat him up and then go off after 60 minutes or before even, if he has to. I just think you play him. And I was looking too at the fixtures coming up, and they're tough games, really. Man City's aren't the next two, because I think they've got, after Villa, then they've got Sevilla, and then after that it's Tottenham and Dortmund.
Okay.
So, I think obviously you want him around for the Tottenham and Dortmund games. He's 100% going to start them. So I think he'll get as little game time as they can possibly in this Villa and Sevilla games. Bear in mind, Sevilla aren't that good this season either. City could put them to bed quite early, I think. So he'll probably be subbing one of them. Would they bench him in the Champions League? I've kind of got a bit of conflict now going on in my head again. Haaland's going to start this weekend.
Yeah, he'll come off as soon as the game's won.
Yes, he's not going to bench him. Not this early in the season. There's no need. I saw Pep say himself, he's 22.
Yeah.
He's 22. He came off after 69 minutes the other day after scoring his hat-trick.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go and see him in real life soon, obviously, because I'm watching TV. I can't see exactly what he's doing off the ball. I don't know what his exact work rate is and how he's moving when he's not on the ball. Because obviously he has so few touches in a game, but they're just so influential when he does. I'm not sure it matters that much,
Honestly, I've just been listening in on Karen Carney.
Haley's comment is making me laugh.
Yeah. Just been listening to Karen Carney, and she said been fortunate enough to watch him live a couple of times this season. And she said, I hate saying this because I know how it sounds, but he makes all the other Man City players look average. And that sounds like a bonkers thing to say. And you'd never call KDB average, or of course you wouldn't. And she didn't mean that. But what she was getting at was that this guy is just another level above. And he's absolutely smashing it. He's built like a sprinter. He's so quick and he's so powerful, and he's still got a big touch. And then Sam Lee added to the conversation, was like, when he was a younger kid, apparently he was quite a sort of late developer. So he wasn't big. He was playing against big centre halves, and he had to find ways of how to move around them. And then he had this crazy growth spurt, but he still had all that skill set from when he was a youngster, a smaller youngster, of how to beat a man, how to be tricky, how to be fast acceleration. The sort of things that 6'5" forwards don't usually have, he has, because he was that smaller striker till he was like 16 years old.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
That is interesting. That does actually explain why he is the style of player he is, right? Yeah. And why he can play for someone so big, he's basically 6'5" now.
Yeah.
I think he's probably just about stopped growing, but literally only just. Yeah. So are you captaining him? I want to see your team now, because I want to know if you've gone.
Let's have a look at my team. I think I'm gonna make a transfer this week. I think I'd love to be in a position where Dean is, where you got the two and you just use one, and then you can keep rolling it until you get an injury or a suspension.
Yeah.
I think the guy I might sell this week, I'm going to keep Zinchenko, because I like the Everton and Brentford fixtures coming up, and I do think with the European fixtures, Zinchenko might miss out sometimes in Europe, but will play the Premier League because it's a soft, easy European start for Arsenal. Whilst Perisic, I think he's going to always start in the Champions League, and I think he's going to start 50% in the Premier League when they've got the Champions League fixtures. Knowing it's 3 games in 6 days for Spurs, and he started the last 2, I don't think Perisic starts this week. And with that in mind, and obviously Dean's comments have helped me think that, I'm looking at it going, okay, if he's not going to play against Fulham, against Man City, I think he does play. And in Marseille in the week, he plays. He's not going to get points against Man City, not many. And then, sure, Leicester's okay, but they could rest him knowing they've got Sporting Lisbon coming up. And then it's Arsenal after that. The Premier League fixtures for Spurs aren't brilliant in the next couple of weeks. And then I might be looking at wildcarding anyway. So if the fixtures do turn green, I can bring him back in. Not going to lose money there. And there's a player I really, really like. I would love to be able to reach Reece James, but Oxlade has absolutely nailed it. I don't have money in the bank. I can't reach Reece. At 6.1, and Reece, by the way, guys, don't buy Reece James tonight. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying they might buy Reece James. Wait till tomorrow. He's going to drop to 6.0 tonight. So you'll save yourself 0.1 if you buy him in the morning. It's Trippier. Oxane, you've absolutely nailed it. Dean's got trips. He's said since day one, like, he's going to be a really good asset, and he's proven to be that. I look at the Newcastle fixtures and think, yeah, I want a piece of that. They've got a sea of green. I think they're really unlucky against Man City and against Liverpool. Isak as well to find. The ball's in behind that Trips could feed Isak. I like him a lot.
Takes free kicks like around the book. Like there was that. I put Trips on the bench for the last game, and they got that free kick against Liverpool. That was like, was it just at 20, 25 yards out? And I was like, oh no, he's going to score. He's going to score. And I was like, don't score. So happy when he didn't. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, I can't leave this guy out again. Like, stop. Don't. It was a bit of a doubt, wasn't he, for the last game? So that played on my mind with the selection last time. Plus, it was Liverpool, so he didn't get the clean sheet. But from now on, Trips is in, and I think you should probably follow suit. Yeah.
Yeah, if I find out Perisic is starting, or we think it's likely he starts, I will give him one more week, because I do love that Perisic fixture at home. As good as Fulham have been, I think they can score against them. I do think Fulham score though. Just a dad posting stuff. Reece James is not guaranteed to drop tonight. It's 50-50, so buy him. It doesn't mean drop. Yeah, I'd still wait though. There's a good chance he drops. I'm just looking now on FPL statistics earlier. He was way more than 50-50 to drop. They don't put a percentage on it. They obviously give the he's over 100% likely to drop. So on FPL stats, Cham says, what's your thoughts on Haaland Alvarez double up? I like it a lot. I think Alvarez has got a really good chance of starting this week. I don't think Alvarez starts the Champions League, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and he's like getting more of game time than we probably expected. And if Haaland comes off, then he's going to be on. Like that. Yeah. That's the other thing to consider. Like Haaland will usually be on, but when he's not, Alvarez will be on there. That's actually a really good shout.
Yeah, I've just realised we have got our record people number watching live. We've got 455 of you. We know our Friday streams are getting more and more popular. If you are new around here, then do hit that like button, guys, and please subscribe as well. We do these streams every Monday and Friday. I'm known for FPL stuff. Dean's known for football and journo and insider stuff. So we believe we're a good combination to fuel your FPL teams ahead of the weekend. And this is my team we're looking at right now. I've just mentioned that it's either going to be rolling the transfer if Perisic, I think, starts. And Paul O'Keefe on Twitter suggests you give him a follow. He does his predicted 11s. They're often very accurate.
Yeah, I've just checked. He hasn't put it out yet, people. He hasn't put it out
I'd love him to put it out by the end of the show.
I'm hoping he does. But by tonight, he says it'll be out tonight. Like, in an adult world, by tonight, it probably means about 9, 10 o'clock. So he probably hasn't got like a 2-year-old and probably doesn't go to bed at 9 o'clock like I do.
Yeah. I'm the same. I will literally go to bed as soon as the stream's finished. It's ridiculous. I've been there. Struggles of having. I was up at 5 a.m. with my daughter this morning, so
it kills you, mate. I told you this is what affected me in FPL. Like I properly went downhill once I had kids because it throws the planning. But you're doing all right. You're still top of the league of our CGA league, aren't you?
Willado is because of Simply FPL. Yeah, I mean, look, we had a nice flurry, but we did hit 400 last Friday as well. So probably not all down to Simply FPL, but definitely massively helped. I'm not sure who Simply FPL is. If he's here, then thank you for sending the traffic over. I'm guessing he was a YouTuber and just finished his stream and said, go watch these guys, which is very kind of him. Just to mention, my starting 11, Nico Williams, if you've got him in your team, start him this week. That's as good a fixture as he's going to have all season, Bournemouth at home. Yeah. I really think we'll get a return, whether or not it's a clean sheet or an attacking return, we'll get something. I'm currently benching Zinchenko. It seems like the obvious guy to bench because I, like Dean, think Man United will score. And then again, I've said before, Andreas is too good to be second bench in some fixtures, but in others, of course, he has to be. I like playing him when he's at home, and I like playing him when he's against sort of bottom half teams. But Spurs away seems like a bench option for me. Really hoping I get something from Tony, Dean. I've had 2 blanks in the last 2. Yeah, his XG in those 2 fixtures combined is really high. He's hit the post. I'm hoping Tony versus Leeds. If Meslier clean sheet goes, it's to Tony. I'm hoping one of them gets big points.
Yeah, just looking, he's got Southampton next year. I mean, Southampton raised their game massively against Chelsea, but they won't be able to play at that level every single game. There's absolutely no chance Southampton can quickly turn around and play like that every week. Stick with Tony, I mean, as I say, a couple of weeks ago, watching him against Fulham in real life, a menace. He's an absolute menace. So he's going to. I'd say him and Mitro are going to end up pretty level. They're pretty similar. Personally, I think Mitro's better. But yeah, I think you could pick one or the other. It's really killing me not to pick in Mitro, but I don't want to curse it.
It's even harder for you because you've got Haaland, Jesus, and Kane. I guess you could go Kane down, but you can't sell Jesus and you can't sell Haaland at the moment. And for me, I don't want to sell Tony, but I do think I'll give him Leeds and Southampton, and then when he plays Arsenal in 3 game weeks' time, that's when Fulham's fixtures really turn. And Mitrovic plays Forest that week, so Tony to Mitrovic switch looks absolutely on for me in 3 game weeks' time. I'm going to give Tony another fortnight.
Yeah, absolutely fair. That is.
Yeah,
someone did say again, like where was the place to go for the Tottenham news? So it's Paul O'Keefe on Twitter. If you want to look out for that tonight, he
does his like predictions, doesn't he? But his predictions are very, very accurate.
He just does he predicts the lineup, and to be fair, he's done it for years.
Has he?
He's been a good Tottenham follower, yeah, and he's always had good insight on there, but his predict Contes have been unbelievable. He might as well be Conte at this point, so he's definitely worth a check on a Friday night.
Eddie says, Gianni, would you go off Ramsdale if I have to get Pope from -4? Eddie, I'd wait a week and just get Pope the week after, because Ramsdale could keep a clean sheet against United. Pope could lose it against Palace. Like, there are no certainties, those two things. So I don't think it's worth the 4-point hit, but I like that move. I do think either Trippier or Pope is a really smart move, knowing Newcastle's fixtures. Runa says, I know it's stupid, but if Haaland is likely to start, how tempting is... No, don't do it. Runa, I told someone not to triple captain him last week, and I feel really bad because he went and got a hat-trick. But you have to wait to the double game weeks, and Haaland will get 3 or 4 double game weeks this season. They will come in the second half of the season. Give yourself the best chance of getting 150 minutes. You'll probably not get 180 from Haaland in a double, but you might only get 40. You might only get 50. You might only get 60 against Villa. Don't do it.
Yeah, and you might not get back-to-back hat tricks, but you probably will get a back-to-back brace. So, over the course of it, you'll still be better off over 2 games than the one. So, calm down. Foot on the ball.
Yeah. Exactly. Nuclear Atoms, you're quite right. We're going to move on now. We've seen our teams. Guys, if you want to go back and watch, we've spoken about Transfernomics. Dean's given his take on some of the best transfers of the window. We've obviously been answering your questions throughout and shown our teams. We've still got a dedicated Q&A coming up in 5 minutes' time, so do get your questions in. But first, we're going to do something, and many of you wouldn't have seen this before. It's called Against the Obvious.
Boo.
Is this me or you with Against the Obvious?
It was not me.
Mitrovic? Oh, was it me? Okay, right. There we go. Guys, so we pick 2 popular assets each week. I pick one, Dean picks one, and we give you 60 seconds worth of reasons why not to pick them. But before we start, I just want to draw your attention to the very bottom of the screen. Not Nuclear Atoms' comment, as good as it is, but the item about the best FPL podcast, because we believe we've got a chance of being recognised at the Football Content Awards, and we fully appreciate there's way bigger FPL channels out there than Chasing Green Arrows, but we would love you guys to vote for us to be recognised. So footballcontentawards.com. We'll also put the URL in the chat so you can just copy and paste it. And then, please vote for Chasing Green Arrows. We'd really appreciate it. We like to think we're doing things a little bit different over here. With me and Dean, we're doing Mondays and Fridays at 7 every week throughout the season. So thanks for being on the journey with us, guys. If you want to show your appreciation, you can like the stream, or you can go on the Football Content Awards and whack Chasing Green Arrows in there for us. So let's start with Mitrovic, Dean. Before I do, you wouldn't consider doing this, would you? Mitro's your boy.
He's so good, mate. He's so good. He's just an all-round, all-action centre forward at the moment, and when he's confident, he's unstoppable. Don't forget, as a guy who got 43 goals last season, he's carried that form into the Premier League. He doesn't care who you are. He will bully you and he will make you pay for if you try and wind him up, as Ivan Toney found out when he copied his celebration and Mitro popped up with a last-minute winner. So I'm very interested to hear your argument here, and I'll judge it at the end. Let's go.
Here we go. 60 seconds starting now. Guys, Mitrovic, of course, he's a beast. Do you know no forward has got more points than Mitro this season other than Haaland? That's how good he's been. But the fixtures just aren't there for me. Spurs away is tricky. Like, maybe they score, maybe they don't, but it's 1 goal best case for me. And then he goes to Stamford Bridge, and I think Chelsea could keep a clean sheet in that one. So, yeah, he scored a brace against Liverpool. He scored against Brighton and scored against Arsenal. Good defences. But I still think you just hold 2 weeks. Look, I'm bringing Mitrovic in for that when those fixtures turn in a couple of weeks' time. But until then, I look at Toney, similar price, Leeds and Southampton. I much prefer him in those 2 fixtures. So for me, it's a form fixtures argument, but you play the fixture and then you go Mitro. Of course, I love him. He has been unbelievable and he's proven a lot of people wrong, which I absolutely love. But for me, you just wait. Tough sell that.
Look, like from an FPL point of view, I'll stop being unbiased for a second. And look, I wouldn't be bringing him in for this game week. I think Fulham will rattle Tottenham a little bit. I think Fulham will go there and produce a really good performance. Equally, I think Tottenham will probably win the game 2 or 3-1. I do think Fulham will score. And if we do, it probably will be Mitro. Yeah. We have said before too, be cautious of the fact like he does retaliate to stuff. A VAR is not going to be a friend to Mitrovic this season. He will at some point get sent off, probably a couple of times. It wouldn't surprise me because he does still have a temper. It's not as bad as it used to be, but he does have one. And he is on pens, and sometimes he will actually miss those pens. So
yeah, he's not been brilliant, has he?
No, so just be a little cautious bringing him in for this game week. But most of the time, I won't be putting you off him. Look, I can't knock you for picking Mitro because I'm picking someone that I absolutely love, one of my favourite Premier League players here, and he's actually in form too. So let's go. I'm going to try and make a case for why you shouldn't pick Raheem Sterling this weekend, and this isn't that easy. Okay, obviously Chelsea playing against West Ham this weekend, and I think that is the main reason that I'm going to try and point this out as a fixture to look out for, because it's a derby. And I think that the one thing Tuchel himself has pointed out in the build-up to this game, that he's worried about the fact that his team lacked toughness, if you like. He said Southampton found it too easy to overcome them. And I think that Chelsea, as a team right now, are just short. And Raheem Sterling has had to step up in the last 2 games to actually make a difference to Chelsea. Now, look, I mentioned before in the show, he has a very good record against West Ham. And Chelsea historically have a good record too against West Ham, to be honest. I mean, they've lost just 1 of their last 16 home league games against West Ham. So to lose here would be a big shock. But Chelsea, the way they're playing at the moment, is not great. And West Ham actually looks like they turned the corner last time out. And I've got a feeling that West Ham go there and get something.
Oh God, I really hope not.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, good reasoning. I mean, Sterling is good against the obvious because of Aubameyang, says Craig. I'm not sure about that. I think they're going to work really well together.
Yeah, I mean, Aubameyang won't play this game, will he?
Yeah, no chance.
Just in case anyone's thinking of like picking. Not only, yeah, I mean, he's got a jaw injury, isn't he?
Sure. Yeah, that's a point. He can't train until next week. They're making a new mask for him, aren't they?
Yeah, I think he literally cannot play because of an injury. So
yeah.
There
we go.
Yeah,
good stuff, guys.
We picked each other's teams without realising.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I wasn't. I saw Mitrovic. I was thinking, damn, did I go for Mitro? Look, if I was on Wildcard, really, I would be bringing Mitrovic in on Wildcard. But this is a bit of fun, this feature. We always pick popular assets that we know will rustle a few feathers. And I did see the numbers drop, actually. I think we had nearly 500 watching. It dropped to about 450 when I started saying, don't buy Mitrovic. So do take it with a pinch of salt when we're on that particular section of the show. Everything else we say in the rest of the show, we absolutely mean. Guys, only 127 of you have liked. Like, that's awesome. Thank you so much. But that's about like 1 in 4.5 of you. Surely we can do better than that, can't we? If you do like what you're seeing tonight, Like, if you don't, that's cool. Don't like. But I'm guessing the fact loads of you have stayed around and you're going to stay with us hopefully till 8 o'clock, you'll hit that like button. So please do. And of course, hit the subscribe button as well. Guys, the best part of the show now. Loads of you have asked questions and we've hopefully interacted and engaged with as many of you as we can in the last 45 minutes. But this is the point where we dedicate this part of the show completely to your questions. So get them in, keep them short, and we'll try and keep our answers short and get through as many as we can. But now we're gonna have a little relaxed session. Time to talk. Here we go. Simon Hale. Oh, Dean. Son. Do you think... I think Richarlison's going to start this one. Because I do think Son's got enough credit in the bank to play all the big games in the Champions League. Of course he's going to. But Conte has said Richarlison's going to start at some point. And I don't think it'll be Kulu that drops out the way he's playing. So we could see a front three of Kulu, Richarlison and Kane against Fulham. What do you reckon?
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the other way you could flip it is that he might feel that this is the type of game when Son could thrive and get the kind of boost that he needs. But yeah, to be honest, whether he plays or not, wouldn't be a player that I'll be picking at the moment. I mean, Son, the start he's had stats-wise, you've just got to avoid him until you've got something there to back him up. At that price that he's at, just untouchable for me.
Yeah. Good question about best places for predictions. Guys, not going to lie, I think the best place for predictions is to, other than the occasional Twitter account, is literally to watch these streams on Fridays. Like the amount of time Dean has nailed the 11s is quite scary. And he's also not just doing it from purely guesswork, but also from some help from people that are attached to clubs. So do tune into our Friday streams. Like we've said, we think Perisic will probably miss out and Sessegnon will start, for example. That's from Dean. But there is a Twitter account. Yeah. There's an awesome Twitter account. I don't know if we can show it on screen. I've just put it in the chat. Fantasy Football Social is my handle, but it's called @JumpTheWave. I really like Emma, who runs that account. She speaks to a lot of... they're not in the nose, but they are fans, season ticket holders, some local journos that come up with these 11s for her. And she gets a combination. So she'll get 20 people or 15 people predicting Man City, and then she'll do the percentage of each player. Yeah. So if all 15 say Haaland starts, you know he's probably going to start.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, I think like there are times, I mean, I've had to do likely lineups for years and years, going back to when I was on newspapers and stuff. And a lot of the time, like if I needed assurance of what I was hearing and saying, like season ticket holders were the place to turn. Like you would, like never underestimate the power of a match going fan. Like they see and know so much that definitely that is worth a lot. Right, Khalid, selling Salah and buying KDB. I have Luis Diaz and Trent. I don't know if I'd do that for a Merseyside derby. I mean, I talked about doing it myself earlier, and I've already talked myself out of it. Like, it's a Merseyside derby. Salah's looking for it to prove a point at the moment. It'll be feisty. Every chance Liverpool do get their first penalty of the season. And if they're looking for a match when it could still be Salah, be careful. Yeah, be careful.
Reese, I'm going to answer your question very quickly because, geez, you are spamming the chat. Zaha or Isak? This doesn't usually work, guys, but because Reese is new around here, we're going to answer it very quickly. I'm going to say Zaha, although I do like Isak. One's a midfielder, one's a forward. Bear that in mind. Next question. Will Odegaard and James start? Dean, I mean, Reece James, yes, because he's training, and Odegaard, no reason not to start him, right?
Yeah, Reece James is definitely starting, and Odegaard, unless there's an injury that I haven't heard of at all, then there's no way he's not playing the form that he's in. He's captain, so he's playing.
Yeah, and playing so well. Look, Odegaard, guys, is an FPL option now as well. He's looking like a sort of young KDB. KDB or Sterling. I'd still go KDB, as good as Sterling's been, but you've got to find the extra funds. This one's for you, Dean.
Bench Trippier, Saliba or James. Saliba for me. Even thinking of taking him out my team. We're just talking about that. I've got 2 transfers to use and thinking about it. So like Saliba going to Old Trafford this weekend as a centre-back. Not much to gain, I don't think, from that, to be honest, at the moment.
Yeah. Etienne, Darwin in on a wild card. I don't hate it, but
I do.
Yeah, you're not.
I think I do.
I don't think
I'm not a fan of his.
I'm not sure he starts, so I'd wait until we know he's a starter till I put him in. I bought him in game week 3 when I knew he was going to start, but that Merseyside derby with his temper.
His
I think he's
temper
probably
is what would
benched.
put me off it. That is what would
Yeah.
put me off it the most. I mean, he's just got sent off because of a little bit of niggling from Joachim Anderson, who's literally one of the nicest guys in the Premier League. Like, he's coming up against an Everton defence who are going to be looking to get the edge and will literally wind him up from the moment he steps foot on the pitch.
Yeah, he's getting targeted
So
now.
I think it'd be a massive gamble. He'll come on, I'm sure, but yeah.
Oh, guys, I hope we can get to 500. There are 498 of you watching. 500 will be our
Log on a
record.
different device right now.
499. Let's watch it happen. Come on, we can get to 500. Every single one of you watching, do not go anywhere because you're going to make this drop to 498. Don't do it to us. Don't do it to us. We're going to get to 500.
Record-breaking day.
George says, oh, here we go. Thanks, team. If you're just
Lovely.
joining us, Mondays and Fridays at 7, like and subscribe. Would you consider Gabriel to trips? Ooh, selling an Arsenal defender I don't love because the fixtures are still good for him. But yeah, Trippier's the standout, like in that price bracket at the moment. I'm buying trips, but I'm not selling Zinchenko.
Yeah, that's fair. Top 3 captains for this game.
You own all 3 of them, Dean.
Kane, Haaland, and was it Jesus or Salah? I don't know.
Well, yeah, 4.
Yeah, there's 4. I've got all 4 of them, but this is the headache that comes with that, and that's why I'm just like, I'm sticking with Salah at the moment. I'm literally on probably the worst of the 4. That's the problem that I've also got in my head right now. I've got Salah captain, and probably if you were to rank who you should have a captain, it would not be Mo Salah right now.
Yeah, I'm captaining Haaland, guys. I'm absolutely set on that. And if I owned Harry Kane, I'd be captaining him, I think, because of guaranteed minutes. I think Haaland will get somewhere between 55 and 75 minutes, depending on how the game's going.
I think he'll get an hour.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
It's probably all you need with Haaland. He's got a hat-trick in, 20 minutes the other night? So
yeah, and even if they're not winning at that point, they can still take him off and try something new, you know? Like, he's not going to have to stay on. Like, they can beat Villa with another another way. Consider Fofana. You're the Chelsea
4.4. He's super cheap.
Think he
Good
goes
way
straight
to the
in?
Chelsea backline. I think he might start tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
He's apparently looked really good in training. Tuchel's said he's trained the last few days and looked sharp. With a centre-back, I feel like you can chuck them straight in. Like Koulibaly did the same. With some of your more creative players, it takes a little bit more time.
And it means you can move Reece straight back out. Like, you haven't got to mess around with him in the centre anymore.
They missed him so much, Reece, against Southampton.
Yeah. Charlie's just asked, is Reece James starting? Reece James is definitely starting, and I think he's starting at right back,
Yeah. Let's move on. Good question, though, E-Man. And I think if you're on Wildcard, Fofana's a great shout.
Yeah, it is a good cheap one. Yeah, for sure.
Connor says, any worry about Salah's minute? This is a guy that during the AFCON played something like 3 successive games that went 120. Like, I think it was the quarter, the semi, and the final. And there was like 3-4 days between games in that heat, and he just kept playing. And then he came back to Liverpool and played successive Premier League games with no rest in between. The guy's a machine. He plays every minute of every game.
He is. And it's a Merseyside derby. Like, he's going to be needed. Like, he'll only be coming off if the game is won, like convincingly won.
True.
Right. Ishad, do I go Tony or Isak or Mitrovic on a wild card?
It's a shame you can only have one of them because you've got Jesus and Haaland. It does mean you can only have one.
Yeah, and this is why I ended up getting Kane. Honestly, who have Newcastle got? I've forgotten for a moment.
They've got good. They've got Palace at St James's, and then the fixtures are good for them.
Honestly, I'd go Isak. Like, home debut against Palace. I think Isak is going to be the real deal. I'll go Isak.
Listen to these next 5 fixtures for Newcastle. This is why I'm buying trips, but also I like the Isak shout. Palace, West Ham, Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford. Yeah. That is a good 5 fixtures.
Really good run.
No European football. Yes, please.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I like that. Bernardo or Zaha, good option to replace Rodrigo, who's out for 4 weeks, Rodrigo, with a dislocated shoulder. So you do need to sell him, guys. I'd probably go Bernardo because I think that City score. I don't know. I do like Zaha. I'd be tempted to go Wilf probably, knowing he's staying. But look, I think if you stay within Leeds, you could downgrade or go similar price actually because Rodrigo's 6.4, Sinistera 6.5. He looks really good, and now Rodrigo's injured, he'll be starting. Don't mind the Sinistera shout at all.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I think it'll be a tight game that Brentford Leeds one, but it's going to take a moment from someone like him to decide it. So yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Cucurella, Dean, what do you reckon?
Cucurella start. Yes, I do. Yeah, I think Cucurella will start. Yeah, left back. Yeah.
James or Cancelo, Lil Chungus? If I could only pick one, probably Cancelo because the clean sheets are way more likely.
Yeah. I'm happy to keep him in my team for now. Thoughts about Bernardo Silva in the long run? Look, honestly, I think he's been brilliant so far. I think we're seeing like the fact that they've refused to let him leave, the fact he's had such a strong start to the season. He brings something special to this Man City team at the moment. I think you can count on him. I think he's going to be a good asset to have.
Playing in the front three now a bit as well, which is great. Like
It
you've seen him on
really
the
is.
right instead of the midfield three.
The thing is, the way he'll like bring a ball down and just a couple of touches, his passing and his vision is just insane.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to be so important.
What do you reckon his best position is, Dean?
Honestly,
Bernardo?
I don't know anymore. Like,
I
I'm
don't
starting
know.
to think it's out on the right flank.
Yeah. Last
I don't
couple of
know.
games where he's played on the right, I'm like, oh, this is like he offers something more than Mahrez there.
100%. It really does. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously nice that you've still got the Mahrez option, but I'd leave him out there for sure. Right, JX, would you prioritise Rodrigo out or Perisic out to get a playing player? I mean, Rodrigo's definitely not playing, whereas Perisic at the moment is a little bit up in the air. Probably goes as far as saying 50-50 at the moment. So at the moment, go Rodrigo, as we say, check for Spurs team news tonight, because we are expecting to find out one way or the other tonight whether Perisic is starting or not.
Yeah. Do bear in mind, guys, if you do start Perisic and he is benched, there's a good chance he comes off the bench. We do see Conte do that with fullbacks. He doesn't ask his fullbacks, certainly the left backs, to play 90 often. Like they know they need to put a good shift in because they're going to get subbed off at 70, 80. So they can really have a blowout. And Perisic came off the bench at Stamford Bridge and he did get the assist for the Kane from the corner. So we got 4 points, but you don't really want you guys getting 10-minute cameos because the fear of the 1-pointers.
100%, yeah.
Havertz, if you own him, you sell him. You definitely don't buy. I think the first choice front three, when Aubameyang's up and running, could be Aubameyang, Sterling, and Mount. As good as Havertz has been in spells, I think he might. I don't think he's anything. I don't think he's guaranteed to start.
I think. Dean, do you think Anthony will start his home debut versus Arsenal? I actually don't. I think that they might bring him on. I think Casemiro will probably start that game. I'm not sure that you start both of them against Arsenal. And I think having him as an option off the bench would be really strong. I think United in that game are going to be happy to give up a lot of the ball. They're happy to play on the counter. And I think if they can start with probably the same front three, but potentially Rashford off the flank and even Ronaldo up front in that game because it's Arsenal, I could see that happening, and then I could see Anthony coming on like 60 minutes and bringing the team to life.
Alex asking about Bowen. And guys, these questions have been brilliant so far. Thank you. I really hope that you can all get something from them because, Bowen is someone we should all be at least acknowledging because he was so good last year. He's gone from 8.5 to 8.2. In a couple of weeks, we'll probably get him at 8.0. And in a couple of weeks, he's got Chelsea, Newcastle up next. Then the fixtures do turn green. Everton, Wolves, Fulham, Southampton. It's nice. My fear with Bowen is exhaustion and Moyes playing him every midweek and every game because he loves him and he's their best player. Mm-hmm. But if he starts scoring, we know he's one of these players that will go on those streaks. So keep your eyes on him for sure. When the fixtures turn, he could be one for winning a wild card.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people are asking about Trossard in the chat. Like I keep seeing, we haven't actually spoken about it. I'm just trying to look what his fixtures are coming up. So Brighton have got Leicester, Bournemouth, and Crystal Palace as their next three. Trossard definitely has been a good asset to have if you've been on him early doors. He's picked up a 6 and an 8 in recent weeks, and he's very, very important to the way that Brighton team function. So, United quite asking about that, but I know I've watched the stream roll in on the comments, and a lot want to know that. He's 6.5 million. That's probably why I wouldn't be going there. It's a really awkward price point for a player like that.
Yeah, it is. And he has played left wing back a few times, although I think last couple of weeks, I think he's been pushed a little bit more attacking, but he
does get up there when he's left wing back, but
he does. He seems to, when he's left wing back, it's like watching Alonso at left wing back. He's playing like a number 9 still.
100%,
FPL Biden, well, mate, it's the last question, I think. A good note to end on. Is Tony a fraud? He's been bad in the last 2 weeks, but he's playing well and he's getting the chances. And when you've got forwards that are getting chances and playing well, the goals will come. and I'm keeping my patience with Tony.
Is he still
for
on
at least
pens?
a fortnight, and he's still on pens, and he takes a mean penalty, doesn't he?
He is, yeah.
So yeah, Leeds and Southampton up next. I'm giving him those 2 weeks. Then it's time for Mitrovic. Guys, that has been an awesome hour. I can't believe that has flown by completely. Before you leave us, if you want to give us a parting gift, please do hit that like button. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel, because we do these streams live and live only. We involve you guys as much as possible every Monday, every Friday at 7. So we'll see you again next week. But for now, he's been Dean, I've been Gianni, and we've been Chasing Green Arrows.